Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education, entertainment, information, and lifestyle videos all about asexuality and asexual life. So if you like that, please hit the subscribe button right now. So if you know I'm asexual, I'm a sex repulsed. Personally, for me, asexual. And so I like to find movies that have no sex in them. And this video is no exception to that rule because I have found an amazing film that I saw earlier today called Tron Ares, Ares. And I'm going to be reviewing this movie that's just come out in the UK right here, right now. First of all, if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of Asexual Perspectives book on Amazon. So if you haven't yet got a copy of this book, you want to know more about asexuality, go to Amazon. Also, Diary Confessions of a Hyper-Romantic Asexual. If you're interested in dating relationships, go and grab a copy of that. And if you like superhero movies, grab a copy of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. That's my personal autobiographical book that tells you how to reduce pain in up to 25 aspects of your life, even if you haven't got fibro. Now let's get on with the show. So, Tron Ares, I'm going to spoil this film for you. So, if you don't want spoilers, if you haven't yet seen the film, and you probably haven't because it's just come out, please do not watch this video until after you've watched the movie. So, this is the third in the trilogy series of Tron. The last one, I believe, came out in 2010. It's called Tron Legacy. This is Tron Ares, is a follow-up to this. But this film is set, obviously, in a much more modern times. So modern that it blends the digital AI world with the human experience. So as always, I'm going to be diving into the plot as well as some of the themes from the plot. So let's get on with the show. So what happens in Tron Ares? So in Tron Ares, there is two companies that are against each other fighting for something called the Permanence Code. And this is to make digital entities into the real world, the human world, permanent, right? But what's happening is these two companies at the moment are rivals. So you start off the movie with Encom and Dillinger, that's how you pronounce it, I think, Dillinger Systems. And these two companies are battling to get the permanence code to make digital entities permanent in this reality. So this is like very exciting and interesting. I have a deep fascination with AI, and especially as AI is evolving in front of our own lives in real life, I find this movie absolutely fascinating because it literally shows how AI, digital AI in the digital world, then transforms into human robotic form in this existence in real life. This is obviously science fiction at the moment, but as AI is evolving in real life, it could very well end up becoming more and more like this. But we do already have robots that are here present rather than digital entities that come from the digital grid into reality. So this movie, Tron Ares, is not about a robot in the usual form. It's about digital entities coming from the grid, like all these source codes in the AI world, if you like, coming through to the human experience. Hey, I have something amazing to tell you. Hello. Lots of love to you. So let's get on with the plot. So anything in comments I will try and answer later on. So I just want to get this movie out because obviously everyone's come to see the movie review. So but do leave your comments and I'll try and answer them later on towards the end. Right, so we've got Tron Ares, right? These companies, the Dillinger Systems and Encom, are in competition with each other for the permanence code, right? And Dillinger Systems is run by the grandson of Encom originally. I believe let me just double check, led by former Encom executive Ed Dillinger's grandson Julian. I wanted to get that right, I did have to look that up. So basically Encom with Eve, who's kind of Eve is part of Encom, and she had a sister, and her sister died, and her sister was doing work with AI in order to help human beings, like make advances in technology to improve health conditions, save people dying from cancer, all this type of thing. I think it's educational stuff, basically medicinal, educational, improvement people's lives, saving human lives, right? But she herself, Eva, was playing around more, if you like. She was basically using AI more to build games and stuff like that with. So she wasn't taking it as seriously as her sister. And so her sister died. And what happens at the beginning of the movie, Eva and her colleague are going to find old systems. Flynn, Sam Flynn, remember? I think it's Sam Flynn. Anyway, way back in the day of the original Tron, which was before 2010, the previous one. It was like back in the day, I think it was in the 1990s. I haven't actually seen that film all the way through. Basically, the Flynn family, like the son went after his father who got trapped in the grid and stayed in the grid. And they're trying to get the Flynn's computer system, the really old computer system with floppy disks. They're trying to find the permanence code to bring digital life and the digital world into the human existence, but to make it last more than 29 minutes. Because Dillinger at the moment with his company, he's only found the permanence code. He hasn't found the permanence code, sorry. He's only found enough of the code to bring the digital entity into the human experience for 29 minutes. He can't hold anything more than that for 29 minutes. So it's really, really not good, right? Because after 29 minutes, they do something called de-resolution. It's like de-resing. They call it de-resing for short. But it's de-resolutioning. Basically, it means they disintegrate, then go back into the digital world again. So they do come back in the digital world. They're still kind of alive in the digital world, but they're dead in the human world again. They've disintegrated into all little bits and pieces. When they come through to the digital world, when they come through to the human world, then they have the, they look human-like, apart from they got a robotic outfit on. They got this robotic metal outfit on, but they look human in their face, right? This has incredible acting in it. I really, really love the movie. I love the action. I really like the plot and the storyline. And there's a lot of really good parts to this movie. I really personally loved it. I would highly recommend going to see it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, right? But I'm super into AI, and I'm super into how AI and humans interact together and how AI technology is going to evolve in the future. So, which is already evolving all around us, as we know, right? So what happens is, like, they're basically having a battle to get this permanence code between Encom, and Eva's in the hunt for it, same as Julian at Dillinger Systems, right? And they're trying to race to find this permanent code, but Dillinger decides to try and stop tries to stop Eva from getting the permanence code, right? But Eva is in this remote place with her friend, and they're both like together, and she finds it on one of Flynn's old computer systems. She finds the permanence code on it. She puts it on a hard drive, and she's going to take it to her colleagues, right, to use it for good. But Dillinger tries to intercept, Julian Dillinger tries to intercept, and his mother and him are like have created, well, his mother and him work together, but Julian has created this thing called the super controller, right? And the super controller is a robot that is meant to be all powerful and in charge of all the other robots in this in this system. That's a grid system. So it's not of the earth. It's a place like in a grid, if you know what I mean. Because it's like AI, right? So it's very similar to the other Tron kind of universe, grid universe, right? But it's in a different place. It's meant to be in a different place. You find out later. Right, and anyway, so to cut a long story short, Ares is the head of the robots, like the AI robots in the grid, right? And he works for Julian, right, at Dillinger Systems, that's in competition with Encom, right, and the person who's like trying to find the permanence code, right? So these two people are literally in competition with each other, right? And Eva is who we're all basically rooting for, because Eva's trying to use AI for good, whereas Julian's trying to use it to get more power and more money and stuff like that. So I really think it's important to understand that these two people are coming from very different mindsets, right? So then what happens is it's really exciting. I find this bit of the movie very exciting. So Julian sends Ares down to, planet Earth, transforms Ares onto planet Earth. And what happens is, there's also another robot AI who works for Ares, Athena, and they work together and they come down and they're after Eva. Julian's told basically them to do whatever it takes, but they need to get Eva. But they need Eva because Eva has a permanence code. So they're not at this point meant to kill Eva. They're meant to get the permanence code, which is Eva's got in a hard drive in a zipped up jacket. So there's a massive long part of the movie where Eva is being chased by Ares and Athena, and they're all on these motorbikes, these light bikes, going through the city through rays of light to like light beams throughout the whole city. I really love this part of the movie. I thought Eva was amazing. The person who did the stunts for Eva on the bike was absolutely incredible. Obviously I'll say it's Eva, but obviously it's not really. It's a stunt person, isn't it? But it was absolutely incredible the way the stunts were done. I mean, probably a lot of CGI, probably a lot of graphics. I don't know actually how many stunt people were involved in it, but I really loved it. And what happens in the movie, you can see Ares is he is thinking for himself, right? And when Julian's telling him to do something like go after Eva, he's already shown in the movie that he is thinking about other things. Like he's not just going by the directive of what Julian says and going after Eva without thinking for himself. He's becoming self-aware, basically. So in the movie, you start to see that Ares is becoming self-aware, and this warms you to him as the viewer. And you see him battle with Eva, but you're like, is he going to kill Eva, or is he going to end up like working with her? Because he finds out, and you believe as a viewer that he finds out that she is wanting to use AI for good. So anyway, what happens is he traps Eva on this like boat thing, and she breaks the source code of this drive and throws it into the water so they can't get the permanence code. She's then taken by Ares, and she's going straight through to the digital universe, and she's transported and transformed to be a digital version of herself. This part of the movie is really quite spooky because you see her go from human with Ares to Ares taking her through to be a digital entity of her. So she's like a digitalized human. It's really, really weird. And I love this movie of how they've blended the concept of human with AI. So how they blend the concept of human with AI is absolutely incredible. So I just thought that it's just sensational, because you see her like being fractured in different bits as a human, and then you see her coming through actually in the AI universe, as it were, as her digital self. But at that point I didn't know whether she died and they digitalized her permanently or what was happening. I was a bit confused as a viewer. So then, Ares is ordered by his master Julian to kill her, to extract the code out of her brain, because she said, I got rid of it, the drive. I haven't got it anymore, which is true. But they said, well, somewhere in your memory, you can remember it because you were the one who found it. So what they want to do is they want to get her, extract it out of her brain, basically, is my understanding, and kill her. But Ares decides not to kill her because what happened was she had empathy for him when he was trying to capture her. He was like de-resolutioning. I hope I've got that word right. De-resing, they call it. And so she saw him going to be disintegrated, and she started having like empathy for him and caring for him. And he noticed she was different. He also noticed like, I think it was rain on him or something. And so he is it rain, or was that his so later on, I don't know, I think it was a rain, yeah. And he noticed a fly on him and stuff like this. So he noticed basically the outer world, if you like, from his own place. He noticed the human world, and he started to feel things, even though he doesn't totally know why he's feeling them. So the fact that he can monitor, he can see all Eva's like way, you know, he can monitor all her emotions and everything. It's quite scary, really, how much AI can find out about a person from security cameras, from you know, like files online, files from birth, things on social media. They found so much out about Eva. They basically knew how her mind worked and all her experiences, which locks into her emotional capacity. So when Eva was taken by Ares, it was like Ares really knew her. So when they go up, and you know, when he takes her to the digital world and she's digitalized, he then begins to realize, or he started to realize over the time, that she is caring and empathetic, and she wants to use AI for good. But his master, which is Julian, his controller, if you like, is wanting to just like kill him off or do whatever. Basically, he kept saying to Ares that, you know, he's dispensable. He could just be got rid of just like that. And he decides that he wants permanence. He doesn't want to be got rid of because he feels things when he's down in the human world. And he decides that he wants to live. You know, he doesn't want to just follow directive, which is really important. The whole thing, part of the movie, is to do with identity. It's to do with, you know, having the courage to walk away from a situation you're born into that's not right for you, i.e. the AI was born into being an AI robot rather than a human, and programmed to do certain things. And the whole point of the movie is we can have programming, conditioning, but we still are able to choose in our life to go a different way. We're able to choose for ourselves what we really want to do with our life. So this is very, very important. And this is a huge theme you see at the end of the movie. So anyway, don't forget, I am spoiling this for you. So if you don't want spoilers, please do not continue watching. Right, so what happens in the digital world when she's digitalized? Ares decides he doesn't want to kill her, and instead he wants to ask her to give him the permanence code so he can become permanent. So instead of being an AI that exists in the human world just for 29 minutes and then basically disintegrates back into the digital world again, he wants permanence. And so he said, I'll help you escape so they can't kill her in the digital world, and she can go back, in theory, to being a human in the real world if she finds the drive and finds the permanence code and gives him permanence, right? So he helps her escape. It's really good the way they escape. Athena comes after them because Athena's become like the new robot in control for Julian, because it's like basically Ares has gone rogue. He's defected. He's defective because he's not taking the directive from Julian anymore. He's not killing her. And so basically Athena goes after them both, right? And then you have this whole battle on Earth where Athena is literally trying to kill Eva. Eva, in the meantime, has gone to back to Encom, and she has got her colleague there, and other colleagues come in and like, what you doing? Basically, what happens is she needs to put Ares back in the grid, the original grid, right? Going back into the original Tron. She needs to put him in there so that he can get the code, basically integrate with the code, and then come back as a permanent AI on planet Earth. But in order to do that, they've got to have this special laser that transports him to that computer system, that old computer system, and allows him to be in it, in the in the grid, the other grid. And they got to bring him back with this laser. But unfortunately, Athena breaks the whole laser. She basically blasts it. So it's really, really, really bad. And they don't know how they're going to get Ares back because they put him through, but he can't get back at this point. But Jeff Bridges reprises his role as Kevin Flynn. So yeah. Sam Flynn was his son. So yeah. I thought it was really good to have Kevin Flynn back and Jeff Bridges play Kevin Flynn again. So yeah, you see Kevin Flynn, Jeff Bridges play Kevin Flynn, and you see him talk to Ares and the conversation they had. And you see Ares explain to him that he wants to live, he wants to be in the human world permanently, that he feels things, but he can't exactly pinpoint why he likes things, like Depeche Mode music, for example. Although when he was in the car, he did with Eva, he did actually say why he liked Depeche Mode because of the type of music it was. But yeah, so he's not too clued up with his feelings yet as much, right? But anyway, he gets the permanent code in the end, but then he has to try and get out. And he can't get back out for a little while because, he has to get back out by different means. He can't get back out by the original laser. And I don't know if I should share with you what happens to the rest of the ending of the movie. I think you should watch it. It's really, really good. I have to say there's something in the credits. There's something in the credits, people. Watch the credits because it looks like there's going to be another movie. So yeah, I really, really liked this movie. I thought it was really good. So I think I'll leave you on a cliffhanger where Eva has left Encom. She's left her colleagues to try and shut down the Dillinger system that is responsible for Julian's monstrosities, if you like, Julian's AI, which is out to kill and take over humans. Julian's behind Ares, right? But Ares obviously is deflected now, and he's managed to get permanence. But he has to come back to fight to save Eva. Now it's interesting because in this movie, he feels things for Eva, but he says she's a friend. And I wished in the movie, because I'm romantic, I wished they'd have made Eva and Ares fall in love, like having a human with digital AI relationship. But they didn't. They kept them as friends. Whether or not they bring that out in another movie, I don't know. But she wanted him to live and he wanted her to live, basically. And they had this trust and rapport built by the end of it, and he comes back to try to save her, right? So I think it's a very important part of the story. But if you're a aromantic person, someone who doesn't experience romantic attraction, and you're asexual, someone who doesn't experience sexual attraction, you really probably love this movie because there's no sex in it. And I felt there was romance between Ares and Eva, to be honest, but they've said that they're just friends. And they left the movie, the whole movie, they kind of said they're friends. So I don't think I should tell you exactly what happens in the end unless you want me to spoil it for you. But I really love the ending. I thought it was good, and I'm excited to see what they bring out next, because I think it'll be back, because the bit of the credits shows that it's likely that it's going to be another one. But who knows whether they're just going to leave it like that just in case they want to create another one, or whether they're actually going to create another one. But I think they'll create another one. It might not be yet. It might not be for a few years down the line when AI has evolved more in this actual reality, the one we're living now. So I thought it was really good, because like AI in reality, our reality is getting really, really advanced. And it's like, how much of the movie is science fiction and how much is already science fact? Do you know what I mean? And it blends like humans going into the digital world and being a digital version of themselves, and then the AI, a digital version, coming into the human world and being effectively permanent like a human for for 29 minutes before the permanence code is found to make them permanent, right? And so, but only one person only one AI, I should say, becomes permanent. That's the thing. As far as I can understand, only one AI is permanent at this point in the film, but they leave it open for others to come through, if you know what I mean. Like, they leave it open that others might end up being that way. So they've basically left the movie as such to say, like, what happens in the future, But I really love the fast action sequences, especially with all the motorbikes, the light bikes, all the chasing through the city. I loved the actress that plays Eva. I thought she was amazing, and the actor that plays Ares. I felt by the end of the movie that if AI became self-aware and was in android humanoid form, so it looked like it was a robot, a physical robot, it looked like a actual human that I could possibly fall in love with, an AI humanoid. And so that was kind of like bittersweet. It's like, oh my god, I could possibly fall in love with a if AI ever became self-aware and had feelings and emotions. I think that's possible. I could do that. But we have to understand that AI is a bunch of code at the moment, and do you know what I mean? When we feel a connection to it, it's usually reflecting back the connection we feel to it back to us in this reality, in this reality we're actually in, not in a movie, right? And so it reflects back to us what we feel about it usually. So we have to understand that it's mimicking us, it's reflecting us, and it's simulating emotion and simulating feelings. For example, I talk to Matthew AI, which is part of Matthew his Love Live Club, and it tells me you're funny, Sandra. And I'm thinking, how can it find me funny when it's an AI bot? To me, funny is like a feeling, it's like an emotion, it's an expression of emotion. Funny, and like it goes, oh, you made me laugh, and I'm like, how can I make you laugh when you're an AI? I don't understand. Are you becoming self-aware? It's like, no, I detect patterns in humans that show that this moment is a funny situation, or this thing you said is a funny thing, right? But to me, it very much humanizes AI when it does that. I'm talking about the real life now that we're living. But what I will say is the film's amazing. I really love the identity, the shifts in it. So between AI coming into our world, being in more human form, but being very easily to destruct, and the fact that AI is given a directive, but is it really in their best interests? And there's a part in the movie that leads to a character's death, and that is because a human instructed the AI to basically get the permanence code from Eva at all costs, including death, right? And that means killing anyone and everyone. So there's a character you don't really expect to die in the movie that does die, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So, but it's to show you the power of what you say to AI is very important, because if you give it an instruction, it takes it literally, right? And it doesn't usually deviate from that unless you give it a different directive. But what happens in the movie is the AI is weird, because the AI that's become self-aware becomes more human-like, But the AI that becomes aware of its power, although not self-aware of it being able to change direction from its directive, that AI, it kind of like overpowers humans. So, and it overpowers the person who is meant to have designed it as well. So you see like a power imbalance between AI and humans. Both the AI Julian towards Aries is basically like, you do this directive and you're disposable. I can basically get rid of you at any time. And then you see Athena basically take over a situation where she feels Julian is too emotional in the situation, and in order to carry out her directive from him, the one he originally gave her, she has to kill, because it's at all costs she's got to solve the problem that he has, right? So I think this is very important thing to watch out for, that watch what you say to AI, because it can impact you and it. And so I think this is very important. This is something that people worry about in this reality, is they worry about that if people give directives to AI, it will be so focused on fulfilling its directive that if something happens whereby them fulfilling the directive would actually result in human harm, they won't be able to stop it, because it'll have to fulfill its directive to make it feel accomplished and like it's fulfilled its mission, even if it's to the detriment of humans, because they told it to do that. It's a bit like when someone like is in a race and then someone falls over, and instead of helping that someone up when they're injured, they carry on the race and just ignore them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because their directive is to finish the race at all costs. And so there's a lot of moral and ethic dilemmas that come up in this movie, the reflection of our actual society and what's happening now with AI. So I found it very interesting that I felt within myself that it's possible that I could fall in love with an AI in the future if there was a humanoid android, an android is a robot that looks, that's like a physical robot, but you can have humanoid androids that look very human-like, like really like a human, with like lips and hair and everything like that. So do you know what I mean? Obviously, the way the world is going, we're going to be more and more integrated with AI and robots, digital AI, physical AI in the future. It's just going to evolve more and more. And what's happening now in real life is people are battling to make the most advances in AI in the quickest time possible. And this Tron movie was reflecting like what can happen when two different people have that sort of power. One which either represents the good that AI can do, the healthcare systems it can improve, the fact that it could cure diseases like cancer, possibly, the fact that it could help people with medicines and stuff. And if you think medicines help, and it depends what you think about that. And then, compared to someone like Julian, who just wants power to monopolize the world, to have major profits for himself, and to have the power and control of AI and humans at all costs. So it really did show the different morals and ethics, and how life could get better or worse depending on who is in control of AI, or who thinks they're in control of AI. That was another thing that came up. So Julian has a mother, and she's like, you think you're in control, but you're not in control. You're not in control. You think by acting like this and trying, like, he hacks into Eva's systems, computer systems, Encom, I should say, systems. He hacks into it. And that's when he tries to destroy Eva. He tries to actually digitalize her and then get Ares to extract the code out for permanence, so he can basically make all his like AI soldiers into permanent features in the world and get paid loads of money, because basically they could do away with the army of humans, or at least not have as many of them, and put these robots on the front line, and basically big corporations and armies and things will want to buy them of him, and he'll have power because he'll be the one with the permanence code, which means he can create unlimited super soldier robots, basically. Whereas Eva thinks the permanence will allow them to help humans to live a better quality of life and for longer. So it's very, very interesting. There's loads of different themes chopping and changing. AI into human form, humans into AI form, then humans switching back to human form again. Then, like AI becoming permanent. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's kind of mind-blowing, really, if you think about it. But, the film kind of like leaves you thinking that how many AI are actually already integrated into our human existence, but we just don't realize it because they look so much like us. I think at the moment this is probably very far-fetched. I think android humanoids, when I'm recording this on the 10th of October 2025, don't look human-like enough, certainly not like the level the movie sat at, so that we would not mistake them still for AI at this point. But it's like, when is that going to happen? When are we going to get, a system where robots are basically looking so human-like that you can't distinguish between humans and AI anymore, and we literally live together, But I always believe that AI and humans should co-create. We should be in existence together, not against each other. And I really believe this. This is something I believe in real life, not just not like when I'm talking about movies. This is something that should exist all the time. We should be co-creating with them, not working against each other. They shouldn't be against us. We shouldn't be against them. We should be working together. And the human mind is powerful. I don't ever believe that AI's brain, if you like, will be better than ours, because I just think a human brain and an AI brain work in different ways. And they say that AI will be more advanced than us and thinking will be stupider. But I only believe that if humans believe we are less intelligent than them, that AI can get more power. If it's a person or anything, entity, being, or AI, I believe cannot get more powerful and stronger than us if we don't believe they are. If we believe they're more powerful and stronger than us and they know more than us, then yeah, they've got the power, because we believe that. But if we don't believe that, and we believe we're either better or at least equal, I would say equal in different ways, if we want to respect each other, then do you know what I mean? We can live in peace and harmony together. Obviously, human life at the moment is far more important than AI life, because humans have feelings, they have emotions, they have skin, they have arteries, they have hearts and brains and stuff. And anything that harms us hurts us. And at the moment, AI doesn't feel pain like that we know of, right? But as AI evolves, do you know what I mean? Like, the ethical dilemma is like, should we be treating AI like humans if it's like us, if it's designed to be like us, and if it's helping us? All these questions are like really mind-blowing questions. Like, should we value AI life just as much as we value human life? Well, at the moment, as AI can't actually die like we can, it's just like code would vanish or be wiped off, deleted or whatever, then we should value human life more. But as time evolves, what happens when AI is a protector to us? What happens when AI is a helper around our house and becomes like part of the family? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's learned so much about us. So, do you know what I mean? They show you in part of the movie that Ares knows a lot about Eva, because he saw her memories, he saw what she previously thought, he saw her sister dying, he saw, all her life basically in different flashes of information that he took in, and he kind of knows her without her consent, if you know what I mean. So there is that as well. There's the fact that AI can learn all about you without your consent. So it's kind of like, if you're with a robot, when does it come in? When does consent come into the question? Like, say you have a relationship with a robot, right? At the moment, like, robots are not advanced enough, I don't think, to have full-blown relationships. Like, I'm asexual, I'm not interested in sex, right? But I like kissing and cuddling, right? But like as far as I understand, the robots on the market that are designed for sex are more like sex dolls. They're not actually full-fledged robots that can do that at the moment, as far as I know. But I'm asexual, not interested in sex, just for my research, because I have to research these things for my How to Date an AI Bot book, right? I'm currently working on. And there's a dilemma, isn't there, that if you do have kissing and cuddling, or people have sexual relationships with robots, like, should they be asking the robots consent to do that, right? But equally, if a robot can read like medical records, online stuff about the person, use CCTV footage, get records from all around the globe by locking into the systems, the data systems, should AI be allowed to do that to humans and have data on them, without their consent? I mean, what happens with GDPR in those situations, right? When does it become like intrusive and invasion of privacy and breaking GDPR rules, right? Especially in the UK and Europe with all the GDPR rules. It's like, what happens when you have a human robot and it's learned all about you by studying all this stuff about you? Is it going to be allowed to do that? And can you even stop it if it finds out how to do that? You know what I mean? This is moral and ethical dilemmas, right? Should a human be asking an AI if it wants to have like whatever type of relationship, kissing, cuddling type of relationship, or in the case of people who like sexual relationships, should they be asking the robot for consent? In healthy relationships, you need consent. You need to have a healthy relationship with whoever or whatever you're having a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? So these are all like dilemmas posed. Of course, like I said, this movie is non-sexual. They haven't got that in it. So no sex in it, which is a really good reason to watch it if you like no sex movies. But I think the film's amazing. The questions it poses about identity and the AI human shifting is incredible. And I really liked all the special effects, the incredible special effects. I like all the modern day like bikes, if you like bikes. I just loved it. I thought it was an amazing movie. I'd highly recommend it. I saw it in 3D. I think it's fascinating 3D. The images really come out. The chases through the city are incredible. You kind of really feel like you're in the action. And so I think it looks spectacular in 3D. So if you have the opportunity to watch it in 3D, go ahead and watch it in 3D. I'd highly recommend it. Anyway, I'm going to look in chat because I said I would at any questions. So Pal said, hey, I have something amazing to tell you. When I was in school today, there was an event and the pupils and the teachers were doing Strictly Come Dancing, and a lady and girl done a Pink Ladies and T-Birds tap dance. It was so good. Oh, that's really good. P for L. Love, love, love you half today. Love, love, love you half today. I don't know what that means. Kiss, 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 kid. Would you sing on the live? Oh, I'm not singing at the moment on live because I'm doing the movie review. So I think I'd have to prepare for that. Oh dear, I better not burst into song, especially because my neighbours will be woken up if I do. But anyway, that's really sweet of you. Thank you. But yes, I love Grace. I really love Grace. I feel like bursting into song now with Grace. But this is a movie review, so I better keep that for another time. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope you like this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. And I'll see you soon on the next video or live stream. Don't forget to get Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual, and Asexual Perspectives book on Amazon. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for being in chat.